better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I'm Christine Lisi. Basketball Hall of Famer Jerry West, a defining figure in the NBA for more than 6 decades, has died at the age of 86. So many accomplishments in his storied career: 9 championships as a player, scout, coach, executive, and consultant, an architect of the Lakers' 10 NBA titles in the 1980s and 2000s, plus an advisor to the Warriors dynasty. ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski.
Jerry West is as important of a figure in NBA history as any I can think of. I don't think there's another individual who did so many things so well in almost every element of NBA and basketball life.
NBA is planning a tribute to West before the Mavericks host the Celtics Game 3 of the Finals tonight, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis' rare left leg injury is listed as questionable. Dallas point guard Luka Doncic is probable with a chest contusion.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, Mike Trout, Justin Herbert, Connor McDavid. I'll tell you which stars we need to stop giving a pass to for not winning titles. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump.
Mike. It's another big time hump day. We'll talk about it.
It's hump day.
You'll remember the name. Mike.
It's hump day.
Says he ain't going nowhere.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Unless he gets traded.
Hump day.
Let's continue to be ambiguous about Marshawn Lattimore.
It's hump day.
Ross Jackson in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Pat McEvoy will be here. Not Pat McAfee. Pat McEvoy next hour. You might be. He's the Jello shot guy up in Omaha.
Mike.
Are you having the Jello shot guy from Omaha and LSU's not in the College World Series?
Hump day.
Scone, why are you having the Jello shot guy from Omaha on? LSU's not in the College World Series.
I'm glad you asked, because
It's
they're
hump
doing
day.
a really cool thing for the Baton Rouge Food Bank this year. We'll tell you more about that in about 90 minutes from right now.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Okay, let's get rocking and rolling, y'all. Ton to do, fired up to be here. Glad to have you aboard with us. Let us begin, as we do, every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
So LSU added another piece out of the portal. And it's a guy that we kind of know a little bit because 2 weeks ago when LSU was gearing up for the Chapel Hill Regional and the Tigers were taking on Wofford, we kind of expected that on that Friday we were going to see Gage jump against Zac Cowan. Well, Zac Cowan entered the transfer portal, and now Zac Cowan is going to be an LSU Tiger. This is really good news. I want to give you a bit of a refresher on. It's really, really good. A 3.35 ERA. In those 104 and walked only 29. High strikeout value, more than a strikeout per inning, low walk total, really good command. Probably not the biggest prospect because just of his stature. 5'11", 180, doesn't throw. And I was reminded of reporters. This was back on May the 30th. So when Jay met with reporters before LSU opened up that regional against Wofford, and we were expecting. This is what Jay Johnson said. Flipped and started recruiting, and now will be coaching next year.
Is a converted position player who's a really good athlete, has great feel for what he's doing. Like, it's a really good delivery, so everything comes out kind of looking the same, and his athleticism helps him with that. He's an elite changeup, real elite changeup, and he kind of throw it where he wants, has a bunch of movement on it, has enough on the fastball to be able to mix well, and he throws it where he wants to. When he wants to throw it in the zone, he throws it in the zone. When he wants to throw it out of the zone, he can make it look like it's in the zone and throw it out of the zone. He's a really good pitcher.
I would certainly trust that Jay knows what he's looking for in a skill set, and a strike thrower, I would assume, is at or near the top of that list. Now, there is, and I'll run through what the staff and the options will look like next year. But if there is one sort of concern about Zac Cowan, this is it. It's essentially the same question that we kind of asked this year about Cade Anderson. Cade Anderson get SEC hitters out. That step up in competition was just a little too much in his freshman year. He's going to be fine. I think he's going to be. Same can be said for Zac Cowan. Yes, he had a great year. 110 innings pitched, struck out 124, walked 29, a 3.35 ERA. He was Wofford's Friday night guy. Here's a list of the teams that Zac Cowan pitched against in 2024. Bucknell, Charleston, the Citadel, VMI, UNC Greensboro, FIU, Mercer, Western Carolina, Gardner-Webb, ETSU, Samford, the Citadel, Samford, and Long Island. That's the list. Not a single Power 5 and barely a school that you'd even recognize. So it is fair to say, I'm not saying he can't pitch against the Power 5. I trust Jay Johnson's talent evaluation. It's fair to ask the question how he'll do. And from Zac Cowan's perspective, this is very obvious. You spend 2 years at Wofford. Because of your stature, you're probably not a huge recruit coming out of high school. You go to Wofford, you're really effective for 2 years. And now in your junior year, your draft year, you step up in competition to the SEC. Because if you go become a weekend guy in the SEC and have comparable results, now all of a sudden you're a key draftable prospect. I'm not telling you he's going to be a round one guy or anything like that. But does he become a top 10 round guy? Does he become a draftable prospect who might get $500,000 as a top 4 or 5 round guy next year? Maybe. So the opportunity for Zac Cowan makes a lot of sense. And for LSU, when you're looking at the staff for next year, we've gone through this a little bit, but remember, You've got Chase Shores coming off of Tommy John. We're all assuming Chase Shores will be in the rotation. He'll probably be your Friday night guy, provided he's healthy and effective. Cade Anderson takes that step next year. I think we all assume, especially the way he finished, that Cade Anderson will be in the rotation and certainly will be vying for a rotation spot. Those two are effectively a given. We're hoping Griffin Herring comes back. I keep mentioning that. We're gonna have to sweat Griffin Herring out in the draft. But if Herring, the top end for a reliever in the draft would be about $500,000. That's the top end. Does Herring come back, try to become a weekend starter, which he's shown he can extend, and then potentially dramatically increase his effectiveness, his draft slot after his junior season? Because mid-90s from the left side who can extend, that's pretty appealing. So those three you hope would be there in the mix. And then obviously now you've brought in Zac Cowan. Cohen, excuse me. I'm going to do that a bunch. Zac Cowan, who can be part of that mix, vying for a weekend role. And then you better believe they're going to go after other guys in the portal. And the two names that are worth mentioning the other big pitcher name worth mentioning, is Zach Root. The lefty from East Carolina, started 13 games this last year as a freshman. He's one of the top players in the transfer portal. And the two, if you want to remember names, the two big fish right now in the portal pond that everybody's in on, but LSU is throwing their line in the water. It's Gavin Killen, the shortstop from Louisville, who's the number one player in the portal, and LSU is in on him, and I know they feel good about him, but we'll see, because everybody's going to be in on him. So Gavin Killen, the shortstop from Louisville, and Zach Root, the left-handed pitcher from East Carolina. If you happen to land both of those guys, along with Chandler Dorsey, who's probably your closer coming in from South Florida, now you've added Zac Cowan, who's the ace of the Wofford staff. And if you're able to add both Gavin Killen and Zach Root, you will have the best transfer class in America. And Jay's, he's cooking again in 2025. So the portal cycle's still going. This is every weekend during the portal cycle is big because you're going to have visitors coming in. Just like we talked to Chandler Dorsey on the show yesterday. He was here on his visit Sunday, committed Monday. So you'll have another crop coming through this weekend, and I'm told there's going to be some pretty big names on campus this weekend. So you could potentially, beginning of next week, have some really, really good news around the LSU baseball program. But the news today, Zac Cowan, the ace of the Wofford staff, has committed to LSU. All right, it's after further review. I do want to mention also that earlier today, there were reports that LSU had gotten two pitchers from Wofford. Remember, Wicker as well. Camden Wicker was reported earlier today to have also committed to LSU. And I'll tell you, I was doing Morning Scone today, and I got a text that Wicker was one. And I read the text live on my show. And I know there was some other outlets that had reported Camden Wicker had committed. That is not the case. They got one guy today. Camden Wicker remains uncommitted. So to whatever degree my reading that on mornings, and if you don't know, Morning Scone is a morning live stream show that I do every day. To whatever degree me reading that text on Morning Scone contributed to any confusion, I'll completely wear and own that. I should have been better and followed up instead of just reading the text live on the air, or live on the stream. So in any event, one commit today for LSU in Wofford, Zac Cowan, Camden Wicker, the big lanky freshman that LSU faced in the elimination game. He's in the portal as well, but remains uncommitted. All right, it's after further review. Show up and brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Hey, remember our friends over at Mockler Beverage, y'all, this summer, next month, as a matter of fact, Zach Bryan is going to be in New Orleans for a big concert. And our friends over at Mockler Beverage are giving you the opportunity to win tickets to the Zach Bryan show. So go find Mockler Beverage on any of the social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, anywhere, and you'll see the flyer for the Zach Bryan, the Quittin' Time tour. And you'll see the QR code. Scan the QR code for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Zach Bryan Show, July 25th in New Orleans, courtesy of our friends at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the UFC, the official beer of AFR. And good luck winning some tickets to go see Zach Bryan July 25th in New Orleans. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Saints are back on the field today for the second day of Minicamp, and Marshawn Lattimore, who's had a topsy-turvy offseason. He spoke on the record to reporters today about his future with the team. You'll hear that next on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. And y'all, when the sun is shining on days like this, it is an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery. Maybe you knock off of work. Instead of going walking or jogging around the neighborhood, how about getting some exercise by getting in your yard, getting in your garden, and just planting something? You can get some sun, some natural vitamin D. You can dig some dirt. You can get some grounding, touching the surface of the earth. It's great for you. And you can beautify the exterior of your home with your lawn and your garden and your flower beds. And remember also, I mention this all the time, they have tuned wind chimes, and these are gorgeous. It's such a beautiful accent piece to any outdoor space. And they've got a great selection of them over at Clegg's Nursery. So you can get on, but you can see pictures of them on their social media. But they have this amazing selection of these tuned wind chimes, which, by the way, would make a great gift for the green thumb, for the person that loves spending time outdoors. Maybe this Father's Day, give this gift to Dad if he loves to be out in his outdoor kitchen or grilling all the time. Great way to accent that space. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Our Rad Dad contest is back, presented by Roaming Shot Outdoors and Shooting Range. Upload a picture of your dad doing dad things to 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win him a Blackstone grill with all the accessories, 1 long-range shooting school class for 2 from Roaming Shot Outdoors and Shooting Range, steaks from Krista's Specialty Foods, a Hawk Soap gift basket, and a full throttle package from Finish Line Haircuts. We'll be choosing a winner June 14th. Happy Father's Day from Roaming Shot Outdoors and Shooting Range and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Joe Burrow was back on the practice field there at minicamp for the Bengals, and this was an interesting soundbite. I'm going to get to Marshawn Lattimore here in just a quick second, who did speak after Saints practice. Burrow, who has obviously battled injury, right, from the knee injury his rookie year, the calf injury, which slowed him in camp last year, the wrist injury, which sidelined him for about half the season a year ago, appendicitis. It was interesting hearing Joe Burrow talk to the media about kind of, as he called it, his football mortality. Give a listen.
Your football mortality kind of comes into the back of your mind, so that's definitely something that I've thought about and something that I've had to fight through. That's every injury that happens. They stack, and you continue to think about how you can get better from those and how you can come back an improved player when maybe you're not getting the reps that you had because of your injury. So it's always a challenge. It always is, but I'm built for it. Our team is built for it, and the people that I have surrounded myself with have been through it with me as well. So I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about what we're going to do, and I'm excited about all the guys we have in the locker room.
It was really interesting listening to Burrow, and that conversation with reporters went even deeper. But he talked at length about his plan and about how so much of his football career has been being the tough guy and powering through. And I thought about this because in 2018, in Burrow's first season in Baton Rouge, if you remember, Burrow and Miles Brennan were the only available quarterbacks, and they were trying to redshirt Miles Brennan. And we later learned that Burrow was dealing with some pretty serious, painful injuries, but he was just powering through it that year. And it was so interesting because Burrow sort of alluded to the fact that, and I'm paraphrasing, instead of being the tough guy out there and playing through it, it's about being smart and recognizing how you have to scale back. So the Bengals staff has worked in planned rest days for Burrow, like days off where he will not throw. He did not throw the football at OTAs. So there's a lot that they're doing with the idea of saying, let's make sure Joe is available in February instead of being so hyper concerned with him being available in September. So, for Burrow, that's been kind of how he's addressed this offseason. Look, we all love Joe Burrow here. We're pulling for him, except when he plays the Saints, unless if you're Hunt, big nerd like Hunt Palmer. We're all pulling for Joe Burrow. We want him to be great, but a big part of this is going to be he's got to stay healthy, because when he has been healthy and on the field, he has been elite. He has been a top 5, maybe top 3 quarterback in the NFL. The problem so far through Burrow's career, through the first 4 seasons, has been his ability to stay on the field. So we'll see if maybe he starts to rectify that this year. And the Bengals, as an organization who've signed him to nearly $300 million extension, right, on top of his rookie deal, have put that plan in place. Okay. It's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. I know a lot of you are hitting the road. I'm actually hitting the road tomorrow. Not for a vacation, but we're taking Drew to see his doctor. So we'll be on the road tomorrow, and I would encourage you to do what I do whenever I need service to my vehicle. Take it to Shaw Bills. Look, if you need to buy tires, name brand tires, wholesale prices. You'll always get that at Shaw Bills. With locations all over South Louisiana, started in Morgan City, up to Baton Rouge, west into the Lafayette area, Youngsville. They've got locations all over. So find the location nearest you, and remember, they're always going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they're going to treat you like family, which keeps you coming back year after year after year. Learn about the Charlie's Dozen, a dozen benefits extended to you and every vehicle in your family when you buy your tires at Shaw Bills, like free tire rotations, free balancing. You, of course, get the Charlie's price match guarantee, meaning if you buy tires at Shaw Bills, you find those tires advertised cheaper, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. They're going to get you the best tires for the cheapest price. They guarantee it. And they're going to treat you great, which keeps you coming back year after year. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. Saints are back on the practice field on Wednesday for the second day of mandatory minicamp. And the good news at mandatory minicamp is when people show up. And Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore, who were both absent during OTAs, have been there at mandatory minicamp. And look, at Marshawn Lattimore talked about being back in the building.
Feel good to be around everybody. I missed it being here, just around the players, all the, just everything, the atmosphere. I just been chilling, at home, relaxing. I'm trying to get right for this, trying to get used. Well, I'm trying to get used to this weather. It's too hot out here, I'm trying to, but no, I'm glad to be back, though.
It does take a little adjusting. He's got plenty of time to get used to it, though. The good news, of course, Saints play their games in the Dome. There's two big questions around Marshawn Lattimore. We've talked about him all offseason. One is his health. Of course, he's missed 17 games in the last 2 years. He's effectively missed a full season in the last couple of seasons. And then also there's all the trade conversation, and Lattimore was asked about both of them. Let's start with the health, and then we'll get into the trade conversation because that's a little bit deeper of a conversation. He was asked about here's the question about him, how healthy he is.
How do you feel physically coming in?
I'm good. I feel good. Ankle good. So, everything good right now.
When he was asked about the injury, he said it was sort of freak stuff, right? Fluke stuff that just sort of happens when you play ball. And there's some validity to that. But says he's good. He's out there running around. That's a good sign. I mean, the best comp I would say is think about the injury history with Michael Thomas and how sort of ambiguous the preseason work, the OTA minicamps were, where we were constantly looking for updates. And, you'd have Michael Thomas catching balls on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. We're like, oh, look at him cut. And then, how was he, though, when he actually got onto the field? Well, Lattimore's out there on the field with his team, so that's a good thing. The bigger thing, obviously, is his reaction to all the trade chatter from this offseason.
Man, I really don't care, to be honest, because it is what it is. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, then, I'm here. So I really don't get into it. I really don't feed into it, to be honest. I talked to DA already, and we good. So, everything else is just talk to me,
The part of that which caught my ear, and maybe it's just me listening critically to a soundbite, is when he said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, then I'm here. Well, that didn't really slam the door entirely on the possibility of a trade happening. And I want to remind you that we talked about this last week, but we are, and I'm probably going to repeat this enough to where you'll just remember it, but post-June 1, the Saints could save a tremendous amount against the cap with Marshawn Lattimore both this year and next if they moved him now. What would be more likely is that next year Lattimore isn't back no matter what, because his cap number goes astronomically high, and you'd save something like $30 million next year, $20 million, if he's not on the roster next year. So when you look at Marshawn Lattimore, and I'll get you the numbers exactly. Forgive me, I should have pulled that up before we started the segment, but I'll have it right here. So if you look at here it is. If you look at Lattimore's trade, if you were to trade him now post June 1, your dead cap number goes down to $10 million, and the dead cap number for next year is $20 million. So by contrast, if he's on the roster this year, he costs you $14 million. So if you trade Lattimore now, let me say this plainly. If you trade Lattimore now, you'd save $4 million this year, and you'd save $11 million next year. So it would financially benefit you to trade Lattimore now. And when you look at the contract for next year, if he's on the roster, he costs you $31 million. If he's not, he costs you $20 million. So either way, Marshawn Lattimore is not going to be on your roster next year at $31 million. So he's either not going to be on your roster, or you're going to restructure the deal again to kick the can down the road. So they got to make that decision. My point has been, trade Lattimore now. Save money the next 2 seasons. Get an asset, because you're not competing for a championship anyway. The problem is the Saints feel like they are still competing for a championship, and Lattimore can help them get there. But Lattimore, as much as the Saints have said they anticipate Lattimore being part of this team, Lattimore saying, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, then I'm here, kind of tells you that the door isn't completely closed to that. Now, he was asked how committed he was to the team right now.
You said if something happens, but you feel all in, committed?
For sure. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be here. I got to be present. I'm not thinking about if I'm going to get traded or not, nothing like that. I don't really care, to be honest. I don't.
I think from an athlete's perspective, that's all you can do, because he can't control if he's traded. He's not demanding a trade, and I think that was the good thing to hear. Marshawn Lattimore isn't going to the Saints organization pounding the table saying, trade me now. And so he's there, he's committed, and he's trying to help this team win, and that's what I think you want from a star player. But I think from the Saints' perspective, you're looking at it from this standpoint. Number one, while Lattimore's physically there, the door isn't closed on a trade. So number one, like how fast can you get Kool-Aid McKinstry up to speed? And he obviously was battling an injury. And if they feel like Kool-Aid can be a starter as a rookie and an effective player, then that does make Marshawn Lattimore dispensable because you'll have Kool-Aid and you'll have Paulson Adebo as your boundary corners, and that's a great place to start. Maybe Kool-Aid as a rookie isn't what Lattimore is at his best yet, but you have a viable starting tandem there. And then you have Alontae Taylor as well, who, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Pro Football Focus put up out their top slot corners in the NFL, and the reporter from Pro Football Focus, Doug Farrer, had this to say. I mean, he ranked Alontae Taylor as a top 5 slot corner in the entire NFL. So they mentioned, look, he got beat sometimes, but with 460 slot coverage snaps, that was the 4th most in the NFL. And while he did allow some big plays, he was effective more often than not and is a top-tier slot match defender. So with a 93.8 grade, so that's top 5 on the passer. That's top 5 on the list. So you have a really good slot player in Alontae Taylor. You've got McKinstry and Adebo. That makes Lattimore disposable if you wanted to trade him. And I think if the Saints have the offer, they could still pull the trigger. Lattimore's there because he needs to be, and he's doing the right thing. He's being a team guy and being there for his team and trying to get out there and play. But I still don't think the door should be completely closed on that from the Saints' perspective. That, unfortunately, is something I think we're going to continue to follow throughout the offseason workouts and then into training camp. Okay, it's After Further Review. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, go around the SEC. Bourbon Dictionary in 15 minutes. Taylor Calandro will be here, answer your booze questions, so get him in now. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. I literally, before I came on the air today, I always post the show link on Instagram, and so naturally my Instagram stories popped up, and I saw Glow Resources, and the first post was Glow Resources. You know, with like the Star Wars open with the letters that kind of start at the bottom, the words start at the bottom, and it flows up to the top. That's the latest post from Glow Resources. One of the things I tell you all the time, there's a lot of businesses that like to work with Glow Resources because they're fun. Like, they're fun to work with. They're great people. They're cool. They have a great vibe around their office. Like, you walk into their renovated office right there, their corporate headquarters on Perkins Road near Pennington, and it's a whole vibe. Like, they had street artists come in and do art in the building. I mean, it's a really fun, relaxed vibe when you go in there. But most importantly, with Glow Resources, they get results, and they guarantee it. If they hire an employee for your business and it doesn't work out within 6 months, they'll give you a prorated refund, or they'll hire another employee for free. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So John Rothstein leaked out the 2024 ACC SEC Challenges basketball, and you're starting to see some of the press releases come out now formally from some of the schools. But jump in here, guys, because this is remember, we've seen the SEC Big 12 Challenge for years, yeah? And now it's the SEC ACC Challenge.
Right.
And you remember the ACC has expanded this year.
Right.
For example, Missouri is going to host Cal. Not John Calipari at Arkansas, California, the Golden Bears.
Oh.
In the SEC ACC Challenge. Yes, Cal is in the Atlantic Coast Conference. But when has geography ever stopped schedule makers and conference realignment? What on this list looks the most bizarre? Notre Dame at Georgia maybe could fall in line there. Texas at NC State is an SEC ACC Challenge matchup.
That's weird.
That's a little weird.
That's weird.
Am I looking at this right? Is Cal the only new ACC member that's in this mix, or am I missing someone? I'm scanning it quickly because I'm waiting for all the formal announcements from the league office. But it looks like Cal is the only new ACC member, and Texas and Oklahoma's in there. So, yeah. All right, Georgia, Texas play at Oklahoma. And then what do we think about Florida State playing at LSU?
I like it. I think that's great, man. I mean, I think back to, God, what was that, a couple of 3 years ago now when they played each other in that tournament? It was a great game. LSU lost.
Yeah,
they blew it. But it was a great basketball game. So, I mean, I like that.
That was last year. That was McMahon's. Was that McMahon's first year or last year?
I thought it was Will's last year.
No, I think it was 2 years ago. I think that was Matt McMahon's first year.
Okay.
I think.
It was a great game, and I like it, man. LSU and Florida State, recent history, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, I like the matchup, so I'm actually fired up. And you get it in the PMAC this time.
I was going to say, the game's in Baton Rouge, and listen, you have to earn non-conference matchups like that. Like, you're not going to get Duke to play you in a home-and-home. You're not going to get Kansas to come here. You're not going to get UConn or Villanova, even though, like, Big East schools. Like, you're not going to get established programs like that to come to Baton Rouge. So the only time you're really going to get matchups like that is if you go to Maui or go play one of the preseason or Thanksgiving tournaments to play a Power 5. But to get them here, it would have to take something like this, like the Conference Challenge. So that is cool that on the home slate for basketball, you're going to get Florida State coming to Baton Rouge. That's a tasty appetizer on the preseason slate for LSU. It is just weird to see Cal visiting Missouri in an ACC SEC Challenge. Like, hop in the DeLorean, go back 15 years, and tell someone Cal and Missouri were going to be playing in the ACC SEC Challenge in basketball. See what kind of looks you'd get.
Some crazy ones for sure.
All right, it's after further review. Supper Club, y'all. It's Father's Day weekend. If you don't have plans yet for Dad, how about you call over to Supper Club? Even if they're booked right now for the weekend, you can always hope maybe there's a cancellation, you get on the list. Or you could always try to walk on in. Remember, open seating at the bar at Supper Club. So get there maybe early before the dinner crowd arrives. You can belly up to the bar, have a glass of wine, great cocktails. And I told you last week, I got to go sit down at Supper Club a week ago tonight, and I got to sample the 7 new menu items. It's actually 5 new items and 2 reimagined items. For example, the mac and cheese, y'all, the mac and cheese and the potatoes au gratin. They have sort of, they've done mac and cheese and potatoes au gratin on steroids. The potatoes au gratin, they've added thick cut bacon, smoked thick cut bacon. I swear I was still tasting and smelling that smoky bacon an hour after I left Supper Club. It's incredible. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's impossible to get a reservation. Call, try. Initially, yes, it was very difficult. It still is hard to get in, but you can get reservations at Supper Club. You don't have to be a member. And if you say, Matt, I don't want to wear a sport coat, you don't have to. Remember the stated dress code. Collared shirt, slacks, or nice jeans. They just want no T-shirts, no jeans with holes in them, no open-toed shoes. Go have the night of your life at Supper Club and try some of those new menu items. Be sure to tell them you heard us bragging about them here on AFR, and go have the night of your life. If you've never been, it is time. If you've not gone in the last 2 years, it is time to book your reservation at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Okay, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference.
Texas A&M!
Jim Schlossnagle gave an injury update on left-handed starting pitcher Shane Sadeo. He will not pitch in the College World Series. Recorded just 1 out against Oregon before leaving the game in the Supers with a trainer. Sadeo was 5-1 on the season, 2.96 ERA through 20 appearances, including 5 starts. That's a big loss, but probably not as big as Braden Montgomery. Braden Montgomery's season-ending right leg injury in the Super Regional last Saturday. He underwent surgery and will eventually join the team in Omaha, but not going with them right now. A&M will face Florida in their CWS opener Saturday at 6 p.m.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Dogs got a commitment from Talon Taylor. Georgia, Notre Dame, and Ohio State were his final 3. He's a 4-star wide receiver from the state of Illinois. He becomes Georgia's 13th commit for 2025. His dad was a running back at Iowa who was a 4th-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars back in 1998.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn now up to 14 commits for 2025. They netted 3-star defensive athlete Bryce Diaz. He's listed as a linebacker, the 597th overall player in the country. 3rd commitment in the last 6 days for Auburn, joining cornerback Donovan Starr and offensive lineman Broderick Shull.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama got another commit, offensive lineman Mal Waldrop, a 3-star, the 40th best offensive tackle in the country. Oh, you better believe I have more to say about this. Clemson, Florida, Tennessee were also in the mix. The 2nd line commit for 2025 for Kalen DeBoer. Waldrop, the 14th commit overall for the class of 2025.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And Carolina got a commitment as well, Shane Beamer got the commitment from Preston Douglas. He's a tight end, 6'4", 220. He's a 3-star, the 88th best tight end in the country. Sounds like a new Bama commit. App State, Arkansas State, and Delaware were also in the mix. We're in Delaware. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Remember, our Hump Day show is always brought to you by Pluckers with 2 locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery tonight and every Wednesday. Trivia at both locations. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Win some Pluckers gift cards. Have yourself a night over at Pluckers. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Taylor Calandro is coming up next. We'll do our Bourbon Dictionary segment. So if you got a booze question, get it in. Maybe you want a gift for Dad, get a question in for Taylor. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary's next. Also as a heads up, yesterday, the SEC announced some of the future schedule times for SEC football for 2020 for the 2024 season. I didn't get to that yesterday. We were so busy with the pulmonary news and everything going on. I'm going to get to that here in about 17 minutes as we start hour number 2. All right, stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
It has been my pleasure to introduce you to Duplessis Builders. If you've been thinking about building a pool or remodeling the pool at your current home, you have got to discover Duplessis Builders. I could not be more impressed with Derek Duplessis, his team, his staff, and the care with which they go about building or remodeling your pool. One thing is for certain. If you've listened to the show for any length of time, when it comes to contractors, I don't endorse the contractors that are going to be the cheapest. I endorse contractors that are going to be the best, premium products. That is what Derek Duplessis does. Go to the website. Go to duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Look at the photos. Look at the quality of work that they do. It's gorgeous. But the bottom line is they will never cut corners or cut costs to give you an inferior project. They will walk away from a job before they do that. Experience Duplessis Builders. duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Got a booze question, get it in. Father's Day weekend is upon us. Buying something for Dad. Want to know what to get? Ask Taylor. He'll help you out. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Yo, dude, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I was in the store earlier this week, scored a bottle of the Buffalo Trace barrel pick. Is there any left?
No, we ran out yesterday. We ended up getting it Thursday, and I think there's some left at Government Street. There's none left at Perkins, but I do believe he's got some at Government Street. So
Okay.
check it out. I think it's $28. $28.
Yeah,
it's a really good pick too.
$27.99. I haven't cracked mine yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Store picks are great. I know a lot of people love barrel picks, so if you can get them, swing on by, see, or call over to Government, see if they have any left. We were talking a bit ago about. By the way, anything else new this week?
We just got some McKenna back in. Actually, we have some Eagle Rare on the shelf too. I don't know how much we had left, but there was like 6 bottles when I left a little while ago. So, Eagle Rare.
So McKenna 10 and Eagle Rare on the shelf at Calandro's Perkins Road right now.
Should be, for sure. For sure the McKenna, the Eagle Rare was. I don't know if it still is, but it definitely was.
And with that, it is now gone. I guarantee you. It will not, that will not make
and
it.
My employees hate me.
That will not make it 10 more minutes. But if you are over by Perkins and Segan, pop on in and maybe try your luck. All right, let's get to some questions. Anything that you recommend for people who are looking to buy a gift for Dad on Father's Day?
I just tried some really good tequila, a line of tequila called Cantera Negra. It's additive free, which buzzwords. Everybody loves additive free tequila now. It's priced similarly to like Patron and Casamigos and stuff like that. It was really good, man. The whole line was really good. The Reposado is finished in cognac barrels, which the cognac really came through. If you're into cognac, that tobacco-y leatheriness of cognac was really, really nice.
Okay. Yeah, there's pull up a picture of it right there if you're watching with us on YouTube or WBTR. There's a bottle of it. Cool bottle, too. Clear bottle, pretty really ornate. Looks really nice. So, all right.
Good stuff.
Cantera Negra. There you go. All right, let's get some questions. Again, email us, tweet us, or text us. Let's start with Chandler, who said, ask Taylor, what's a good option for $60 to $70? He says, I like Penelope a lot, so maybe that's a good frame of reference for you. Anything in that range?
We have Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel on the shelf right now.
Wow.
And it's a little softer-ish. And I find Penelope to be a tad bit soft. I mean, Penelope has some spice to it, but it's not like overbearing or anything. Check that out. That's right in that price range, too. I think you really like that. And Penelope does a lot of finishing stuff and toasted finish, so try that.
Elijah Craig Toasted is a really, really good bottle. And you tell me if I'm wrong, man, but I wouldn't necessarily say that Elijah Craig Toasted is an allocated bottle, but it's not. It's not always available everywhere.
It still is allocated. It's becoming more normal to see it on the shelf.
Okay.
When they first put it out, it was like impossible to find.
Right.
And for a good reason. It's really good liquid.
Yeah.
But it's becoming easier to find now, and I put that in quotation marks, easier. It's not everywhere, but you can certainly trip over.
It's there.
And it's worth picking up for sure.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's the Elijah Craig 94 proof small batch that's just finished in a toasted barrel. And if you love toasted barrel whiskey, which I really, really do, that's a fantastic find. It runs about $70. Is that about right?
Yeah, $70, $80 in that range.
Yeah, right around there.
It's a little bit on the high end of what he's looking for, but it's certainly worth jumping for
I would
sure,
say, yeah, if you're buying that for Dad for Father's Day, that would be a very, very good bottle to buy if you can find it as a gift.
I'll enjoy that.
Here's one from Scott. Asked Taylor, have you found there's a certain bourbon that tastes better on the rocks versus neat or vice versa? Interesting question.
All whiskey changes, whether you drink it neat or on the rocks or with a dab of water or whatever it is. The profile just changes throughout. I do like, especially this time of year, it's so hot outside, I do like to put whiskey on ice and just let the ice melt. I mean, it's going to melt outside. It's 1,000 degrees. But it changes the profile of the liquid throughout the drink when the ice melts. So I prefer it that way. There's no right or wrong way to drink anything. So
drink what you enjoy. That's what spirits are meant to be. But yeah, essentially you are proofing down the whiskey as well, right? I mean, if you're going to put it on an ice block or something like that, I mean, it's going to make it certainly colder, but it's also going to, for lack of better phrasing, water it down.
Yeah, and just speaking of drinking whiskey how you want to, I'm pretty sure Pappy. I'm fairly certain that Pappy, and I think Julian Van Winkle orders Weller with a twist of lemon at bars. I'm fairly certain that's what they order everywhere. So anyway,
ask Taylor, any good craft beers in now?
We got a bunch of stuff from Agile. Agile's local in Baton Rouge.
Where
I've
are they?
tried. They are out towards the Prairieville area, I'm pretty sure, where Louisiana Homebrew used to be in that little area over there by, well, I can't remember what it's called.
Is
but
that
anyway,
Behringer, like that area?
yeah, that area over there.
Okay.
So anyway, Agile, he's got a full line of stuff, and I've tried a bunch of their stuff. He's got really good IPAs. All their stuff's really good, and they do self-distribution, which is new here. It's one of the few places that doesn't. So check them out. They're hustling pretty hard.
He's Taylor Calandro over at Calandro's. You need to get for Dad. Get on by and see our guy either at Perkins or at Government. Man, we appreciate it. Happy Father's Day, man. Have a great weekend.
Hey, same to you, Matt. Happy Father's Day.
We appreciate it. That's Taylor Calandro. It's AFR, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. Y'all, it is a great time right now to get on by South Point Volkswagen, especially if you have if you're looking for a new vehicle, want to get the best deal for your trade-in. Right now, the trade-in and trade-up event going on at South Point Volkswagen. They have amazing deals. You can drive away in a Taos right now, the compact SUV, 0% for 60 months right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. Also great deals on Atlas and Crossport. They want your certified pre-owned vehicles, so get on by and trade them in at South Point Volkswagen. Okay, y'all, hour number 2 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
My apologies for going back-to-back here, but I had to fit that in. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. If you've ever thought about LASIK, sometimes I tell this to you, but I want this to be the push. Like sometimes we just need a catalyst. We need a reason to pick up the phone. Like this happens so much in everyday life. Think, I was going to do that. I need to get to that. I keep forgetting to do that. Like, let this moment at 3:56 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday, June the 12th, 2024, let this be the moment that you say, I'm done talking about it, thinking about it. I'm going to call out, I'm going to schedule my consultation with Dr. Blake. I've heard Matt talk about this for years. I've thought about LASIK, PRK, EVO, ICL. Maybe you want to ditch the readers. Maybe it's the custom lens replacement. Whatever the reason, you're scared of the laser, you don't think you can afford it, you got to go have that consultation. Make that call right now. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA is planning a tribute before Game 3 of the finals tonight between the Celtics and Mavericks to honor Jerry West, the Basketball Hall of Famer who won 9 championships as a player, scout, coach, executive, and consultant, has died at the age of 86. Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis questionable with a rare lower left leg injury tonight. Mavs point guard Luka Doncic with a chest contusion is probable. Dallas down 2-0, desperate for one of its stars to bounce back from a rough start to the series. Points out ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
This is screaming Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving. And the Mavericks are calling out for him to break out of this mini slump in Games 1 and Games 2 where he hasn't been effective from the outside, hasn't been able to get space from the inside, and frankly, hasn't even been his normal self on defense where he's getting eaten up. They badly, badly need him to step forward and deliver a huge game to remove some pressure from Luka.
Game 3, 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Lionel Messi told ESPN Argentina Inter Miami is going to be his last club. 36-year-old admitting there's not a lot of time left in his soccer career.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, Mike Trout, Justin Herbert, Connor McDavid. I'll tell you which stars we need to stop giving a pass to for not winning titles. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. In 30 minutes from right now, we're going to talk to Jello Shot Pat. That's Pat McEvoy from Rocco's, the Jello Shot guy up in Omaha. And no, the Tigers are not in the College World Series, but I'm going to let Pat come on and tell the story because an amazing thing organically happened with LSU fans and the Jello Shot Challenge this year. We know what happened last year. Already this year. You're going to want to hear this. It's a great thing. They're going to be helping the food bank as well. I'll let Pat tell that story in 27 minutes from right now. On Tuesday, the SEC and ESPN released the rest of the start times or the start time windows for the SEC games in 2024, the football games in 2024. And this is significant because, remember, for years and years and years and years and years and years, it was always we would know some of the start times at the beginning of the season. Like we would know when, because the CBS had to declare the weekends they wanted their doubleheader. Remember, they had the 11 a.m. and 2:30 doubleheader, and then they had the day-night doubleheader. Well, they had to declare those before the season. And then we knew, like, who was going to play in the 1:30 Friday after Thanksgiving, the Black Friday game. So some of that we knew before the season started. But generally, this was a week-to-week proposition because CBS had the first choice of the game, and so they would wait as the season went along to determine what game they wanted. So 2 weeks out, you'd learn your start time. They could exercise a 6-day window to see the results of another weekend's game, and so then you'd find out on a Monday what time your next week's game was. Or I should say after the game's on Saturday, you'd find out then Sunday what time your next week's games were. So all of that is now gone. This is one of the great benefits of the ESPN contract. I had someone ask me today, why did CBS back out of the SEC's contract? They didn't. ESPN and ABC paid $3 billion for the TV deal over 10 years. That was about a 10x increase of what CBS stole it for in the last negotiation. So they just got flat out bid, and this is going to be to the benefit of everyone. First of all, the fans. I can't tell you doing this job how many times over the years I've had people who are friends or family or listeners call me or text me or email me or tweet me or message me and say, hey, any idea about the start time for the Florida game? We're supposed to be going on vacation, or I might be having a wedding, or there could be a charity event. We're hoping it's an early game and it's late. Like, there was always this question you would never know until 2 weeks or out at best. Well, all that's gone now, because now with ESPN, they can declare their windows. Now, it's going to be in the 11 a.m., the 2:30, 3:30 window, or the night window, which is 5 to 7 p.m. And then there are flex games where it could be one of two windows. But here's the great news for LSU. And when we got that first wave of game time announcements, my suggestion was there is a real possibility, a very real possibility, that LSU plays every home game this year at night in Tiger Stadium. It's not a guarantee, but it was a very real possibility because, remember, I had enough conversations with administrators over the years that expressed this, that CBS wanted to be in Tiger Stadium at least once every year. When LSU and Bama were playing at night, you got a great benefit that Bama game would be a night kickoff, but there would still be times if you're playing that game that LSU is good and you're probably going to stumble on another 2:30 game. And people here want night games, but you don't want the 8 or 9 o'clock kickoffs, right? You want 6:45 or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Well, CBS doesn't have the option of taking you at 2:30 anymore. And one of the things that the league has done is they have tried, especially with conference realignment and with expanded schedules, the way that they have maintained the cross-divisional rivalries for Bama, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia, and let's be honest, this absurd 8-team, one permanent scheduling format that, or the two permanent, the one rotating, that the SEC has, the absurdity of this format is rooted in those 4 teams. It's Bama, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia, period, nothing else. That's why we have the stupid scheduling format that we have had, I should say, in the SEC. Well, LSU went to the SEC and said, you're giving them their tradition? Well, our tradition is night games, and we want night games. And so the league and CBS and the TV networks have done their best to try to limit the number of day games in Tiger Stadium. And now that CBS is out of the picture, this has become even clearer. Now, we already knew that LSU, we know that the game in Vegas is going to be a 6:30 Central Time kickoff. It had already been declared that Nichols was going to be a 6:30 game, that South Carolina was 11 a.m., but that's on the road in week 3, on the road in Columbia, and that the game against South Alabama at home was going to be a 6:45 start. So we knew Nichols and South Alabama were both going to be night games. That's no surprise to anybody. So ESPN and the SEC have announced the windows for the remainder of the games in the SEC. Well, the UCLA game is a flex game, but it'll be either a 2:30 kick or it'll be a 7 o'clock kick. So the worst case, it's 2:30, but chances are that's going to be a night game. Ole Miss, they've already declared it's going to be a night game. It'll kick between 5 and 7 p.m. on one of the ESPN networks. Bama is a flex game. It could be a 2:30 game. It could be a 7 o'clock game. Vanderbilt will be at night, and Oklahoma's a flex game, either 2:30 or 7. So I know, look, so Nichols, South Alabama, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt. 4 of your games already, 4 of your games you know are going to be night games. And you've got 4 flexed games. UCLA, Bama, Florida, Oklahoma. But there's no possibility of them being morning kickoff, so you will not have a morning kickoff in Tiger Stadium. We know that for a fact. And the worst case scenario is that ESPN puts one of those games at 2:30, but they could be at 5, at 6, or at 7 across any of the networks. ESPN, ESPNU, ESPN2, SEC Network. The ESPN will control all of that. So if you look at the rest of, if you just look at, say, November the 9th, when LSU welcomes Alabama into Tiger Stadium. If you look at the rest of the schedule on November the 9th, we know that the flex games are Bama LSU, Oklahoma Missouri, and Georgia Ole Miss. The only game that is certain to be a night game is Mississippi State Tennessee, and we know that Florida Texas is going to be a noon kickoff, and South Carolina Vanderbilt is going to be in the afternoon. So you have 3 flex games that week. And why not put Georgia Ole Miss at 2:30 and LSU Alabama at night? I think that's the probability of what is going to happen. So when you go look at week to week how all this is kind of playing out, you can see the probabilities of these things unfold. Look at the next week, November the 16th, when LSU is LSU is at Florida. That's a road game. That's a flex one. But let's look at Thanksgiving weekend when LSU is hosting Oklahoma. It's a flex game. We know the early game is Tennessee Vanderbilt, the afternoon game Arkansas Missouri. The other 4 games are all flex games. Well, you got the Iron Bowl, which of course the Iron Bowl could be a 2:30 game. It was in that window forever on CBS. You've got Louisville, Kentucky, and then you've got Texas A&M. So any of those games would make a lot of sense as an afternoon kickoff. And if LSU wants a night game in Tiger Stadium against Oklahoma, why not give it to them across any of the networks? My point is, all this does is further validate the assumption or probability that LSU plays a bunch of night games in Tiger Stadium. Because remember, this would happen often. This happened in Kelly's first year when LSU welcomed Tennessee in, and they played the 11 a.m. game. You remember, if CBS didn't pick LSU Tennessee, well, ESPN's looking and going, all right, where do we want you? Well, from ESPN's perspective, in that scenario, the way it used to be structured, the 11 a.m. game on ESPN was prime real estate because it followed game day. So the peak viewership of College Game Day is the Open and then the Corso headgear pick. It peaks with the headgear pick. And so you have a captive audience of people who are watching Corso's headgear pick, and then that goes right into a game. And so that 11 a.m. game on ESPN was prime real estate. And they're telling you right now, LSU is not going to play a single 11 a.m. game in Tiger Stadium this year. So that's fantastic news. So there's a real possibility that you'll play all night games this year. You may have to have a little luck and see how the rest of the schedule goes, but I think this is going to work out fantastic for LSU fans. The best part is you know what you won't be. You won't have 11 a.m. games at all this year. We'll find out more as we go along. Okay, it's After Further Review. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Thanks for being along with us here. Love telling you about our friends over, Parrish Construction and Roofing. You can go to the website, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. They're my friends. They're also my business partners, Ryan Terrio, Richard Tilley, Joe Morales, Trent Davis. We've got a great group, man. And for 3.5 years, I've told you, do business with someone you know, and that hasn't changed. All of our same people are still working together. We just took everybody all the way down, to the crews that do the work at your house, our great salespeople, our insurance people, everybody, and we just started a new company, Parrish Construction and Roofing. Hey, I've told you for years also, if you have a commercial building, remember, we have a silicone coating product. This is amazing. So maybe you have a commercial building, you're having issues with your roof, leaky roof, whatever it is, and you're terrified of the cost of a full roof replacement. We have a silicone coating product that is roughly half the cost of a roof replacement that comes with a 20-year warranty. Ask yourself this. You still going to be in that building in 20 years? You might be done with your roof. You will be for 2 decades. give us a shout. We'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, or give us a shout at 364-1007. Same phone number, 364-1007 for Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Okay, we're heading to Omaha in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to Rocco's Pat, Jello Shot Pat, in about 15 minutes. They're doing an awesome thing, even though LSU's not in the College World Series. They're doing an awesome thing for LSU and for Baton Rouge. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes from right now. Ross Jackson, 1 hour from right now, talking some Saints. When we come back, is Jimmy Graham's career not over? He gave an interview to Kat Terrell, said some interesting things, got some thoughts on it. We'll get to that next. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries. Maintenance managers, turnaround coordinators, looking to hire someone to come do work in your plant, in your refinery. You get that proposal across your desk from Action Industries, makes you take a long, hard look. Because my friends over at Action Industries are just awesome. They're awesome people, and they're a great local business that's been serving our community since 1982. So 42 years. Listen, there are some enormous industrial contractors. They're great companies, great businesses. But do you ever feel like your 100-person job isn't the most important thing to that mega company, that mega contractor? Well, with Action Industries, you would be their number one priority. You are getting all of their best people. And Action Industries, their safety record beats the industry standard. And look, the quality of their work is why they keep getting hired time and time again for into 5 decades now. It's Action Industries. Check them out online. Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is excited to partner with our sister station Eagle 98.1 and WBRZ TV on a rare opportunity for local bands in our area to be the featured act for Kenny Wayne Shepherd's July 13th show at the River Center. We're looking for 5 Louisiana bands to compete at a special Battle of the Bands presented by Parish Construction and Roofing on June 21st at the Texas Club. To submit an entry to take part with a sample of your band's sound and get all the details, visit 1045ESPN.com. The entry deadline is June 12th.
I need to check with
That's today, by the way. The entry deadline is today.
Oh, that is today.
That's today.
I need to check with Michelle to see how many entries we have. That's just, you do a career in radio, and you run across a lot of cool promotions. And I know radio has evolved a lot now because so many people, it's so funny too, because, we do the show. Yes, we're on terrestrial radio, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We also stream live video on YouTube. We're on WBTR television. And thank you to all of our amazing affiliates, our great partners that give us distribution and carry the show. We also post-produce the show, right? So we cut up clips and put them on Reels and TikTok and everywhere. And what's so interesting is that there's a lot of young people. Every time I go speak at LSU, I don't know if it was like this for you, Muse, when I would come, because there were a lot of times I came and spoke. That's how we met, was I would speak at class at LSU, and you and I connected that way. When you were in school, were people listening to terrestrial? Were young people listening to terrestrial radio?
I'm not the person to ask because I was.
Yeah,
I
you're
still
an old soul.
I still did occasionally. I would obviously listen and just to playlists that I had on my phone and Apple, Spotify, whatever. But yes, I would still listen to terrestrial radio and specifically sports talk radio. So I'm not the best person to ask.
No, it's interesting demographics. When I was up at the Barrett Sports Media Conference a couple of months ago in New York. I don't mean to bore everybody with this. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. I promise there's a point I want to talk about with this radio promotion. But it was interesting because one of the big metrics company, Edison Research, they made a presentation where still to this day, 70% of sports audio listeners consume on AM, FM radio. Still, 7-0. And then it's a smaller percent that's podcast, and still smaller that's satellite radio. So overwhelmingly still, when people listen to sports talk, they're listening on the radio, overwhelmingly. But I also understand with younger people, they're in their phones all the time, and they've grown up differently. So it's always interesting to me when I'll go speak at a class or something that I'll get all the time, hey man, you're my favorite YouTuber. I love your TikTok. That's the kind of feedback I get. They don't say I love your radio show. So I understand, there's an evolution. We still lead with terrestrial radio, and all of our affiliates are awesome. And most everyone, overwhelmingly, the number of people listening are consuming us right now on terrestrial radio. But it's just interesting how radio has evolved, because you used to have these massive promotions departments do really fun stuff, and that's gone by the wayside a lot. You just don't see it as much anymore with companies investing in promotions and things like that. That's why this is such an awesome thing to do. This is freaking Kenny Wayne Shepherd. This is blue on black, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, one of the greatest guitarists of this era, who's coming to do a show at the River Center in July. And there's this whole thing that happened where the opening act, something happened, couldn't be there. And so Michelle Southern from Eagle 98.1, who is awesome, she's the program director there, the afternoon drive host, and she's she is radio to her core. This was her idea. Let's do a battle of the bands and have a winner, a local band, open for Kenny Wayne Shepherd at the River Center. That is freaking amazing. What an opportunity for a local band that's going to get to do this. So, and the Battle of the Bands is June 21st at the Texas Club. And so anyway, y'all know I'm obviously part of Parish Construction and Roofing, and we're the title sponsor of this event. We're fired up for it. But even that notwithstanding, all the program directors at our station here are going to be the judges. So Michelle, me, Jimmy Brooks from 100.7 The Tiger, and Cade from Talk 107.3 will be will be the judges of thing. But that notwithstanding, whoever wins, it's going to be a freaking awesome thing. So fired up for it. So anyway, yeah, today, as you said, last day to get it in. So get your entries in if you want to win that battle of the bands. Okay, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. And Jimmy Graham gave an interview to Kat Terrell over at ESPN.com, and he's training for that Arctic Ocean row event that he's doing next summer. If you didn't hear about this, he and a group of others are going to spend it's a 4-person team. They're going to try to row across the Arctic Ocean next summer and break the world record of 15 days, 5 hours, 32 minutes. So he's currently training for that. We know that after the season, Jimmy Graham put on his Instagram this sort of farewell to the New Orleans Saints. And a lot of us just assumed that meant a retirement. But Jimmy Graham told Kat Terrell he's not necessarily retired. He said, quote, "I don't have any expectations. I just want to make sure when I retire, it's as a Saint. And it's when they want me to. I'll just make sure I give them a call and see exactly when they want me to retire, and then I'll end up doing it." Jimmy Graham's about to be 38 years old. I mean, this is such an incredible outlier. You realize that? Like, Jimmy Graham is not going out on his own terms. He is saying point blank, I will retire when the New Orleans Saints tell me to retire. I'm going to retire as a Saint, and I will only play for the Saints, and if they want me back, I'll come back, and if they tell me to retire, I'll go ahead and retire. That's kind of incredible, especially, and this is why it really hit home, how easy it would be for Jimmy Graham to be bitter. He was on a Hall of Fame pace in New Orleans with Drew Brees. That is not hyperbole. He was the best receiving tight end in the NFL. I mean, in an era that bred what became, of course, Gronk and now Kittle and Kelsey, he was the pace car for that window in New Orleans. And the Saints traded him. And he went to Seattle, where they didn't really utilize his skill set. And he bounced to Green Bay and to Chicago. And his career just never materialized to what it could have been had he stayed with the Saints for his entire career with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I think we all see and recognize that. And how easy it would be to look back with regret, with bitterness, with resentment because of how that all transpired. And a lot of it was rooted in the fact that Jimmy Graham, when he was franchise tagged, wanted to be tagged as a receiver, not a tight end, because he wanted to get paid. Maybe he got bad advice, or maybe it was good advice. But ultimately, it led to Jimmy Graham not being a member of the New Orleans Saints anymore. And after 2014, going on this long, winding route through Seattle, Green Bay, and Chicago, where he spent 3 years in Seattle, 2 in Green Bay, 2 in Chicago, those 7 seasons away from New Orleans, then didn't play in 2022. So 8 years away, and then coming back last year. And even though he played in 13 games and had just 6 catches, 4 for touchdowns, by the way. How about you throw the ball to the giant guy in the red zone, who all he does is catch touchdowns. Like, it would have been so easy for him to just go a different route. But he came back here, said he would only play for the Saints, and now is saying he will only retire when the Saints tell him to retire. Like, he said, I'll give him a call, and I'll wait for them to tell me what to do. Like, brother, it's your life. You can do what you want to do. You can retire. But he said as long as the Saints want him to play, he'll play. And when they're ready for him to retire, he'll end up doing it. I mean, you want to talk about endearing yourself to a community forever? Jimmy Graham has done that. He'll be a Saints Hall of Famer. That's undeniable. But he will be a beloved New Orleans Saint forever because of how he's handling this, which I don't know that I would have said that during that 8 years that he and New Orleans had parted. And by the way, Jimmy Graham, with his 89 career receiving touchdowns, is 16th all-time in NFL history, 4th all-time among tight ends. So yes, had he stayed in New Orleans and the Saints spent those 8 years trying desperately to find someone like him to replace that production, and they went through Kobe Fleener and Adam Troutman and Ben Watson and Jared Cook, and they never found that again. And there, I'm certain, is a lot of regret on everybody's behalf. And Max Unger was a great center. Like, that trade worked for New Orleans because you got a great player who became a big part of the nucleus of your offensive line and some really good teams. But you never found that guy again. You still haven't. But one thing's for certain. Jimmy Graham has made himself a Saint for life, and we always talk about it with New Orleans and with Louisiana. Man, you wrap your arms around this place, it'll love you forever, and Jimmy Graham's doing that, and I salute him for it. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We're heading up to Omaha. Rocco's Pat will join us. There is a really cool thing they're doing with the Jello Shot Challenge involving LSU, even though LSU is not there. You'll hear about it next.
AFR.
Woke up this morning, AC in our bedroom wasn't working. Honest to goodness, true story. 7 o'clock in the morning, I called River City's 1 Hour Air. Got a real living, breathing human on the phone at 7 a.m. Said, AC's blowing hot. Need someone to come out today if we can. Put me on a brief hold. Came back. How about if we have someone at your house at 9 o'clock? Perfect. 9 o'clock, boom. Bobby was at my house. Bobby comes to our house often. Like, he's been there before. He's one of the highest rated technicians they have. He's just awesome. I read reviews about Bobby all the time. Was at my house at 9. I had to ultimately leave a bit later. He communicated with me on the phone, told me it was up before I left, gave me my options, which are, look, we could replace this whole unit. We could do this, this, or this to get you back up and running, and told me what he recommended. And I trust Bobby, and he did an awesome job for me and for my family and got our AC running. I'm telling you, if you have trouble with your AC, not keeping up or it's gone kaput, you need River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, the College World Series starts this weekend, and unfortunately, LSU's name will not be up on the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge dry erase board. Or will it? Let's call him Rocco's Pat. Pat McEvoy from Rocco's is jumping aboard with us because something really cool happened organically, and I think they're going to have an opportunity to raise money for a great cause. Pat, it's a pleasure, man. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me on. This is a great deal.
How much money did the city of Omaha lose when LSU blew the lead in the ninth inning against North Carolina?
I think that there's going to be a bunch of business students at the University of Nebraska Omaha and Creighton that do that project for their senior thesis here. I mean, it is a massive amount. It definitely we were all watching it in the bar, and there was definitely a collective as soon as it happened. So
the only place in the country that was as sad as Louisiana certainly would have been the business owners in Omaha, and I get it. Hey, real quick. So go ahead, please.
Yeah, it was brutal. We all took a shot for y'all, like a here's to the friends that won't be making it up this year shot.
Yeah, man.
But hey, there's always next year. We'll get you back next year.
I think the Tigers will find their way. Incredibly, the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge last year went super viral, and of course LSU with the 68,888 shots. It was just absurd. What was that experience like for your bar?
It was, we knew going in, like I've been going to College World Series games my whole life. Like I have a pretty good understanding of what the difference is. I mean, we were sitting before the series even started, but the Super Regional weekend, I'm sitting there locked in. We were having a party for one of our guys, and I'm locked in to LSU Kentucky last year. And I was literally just sitting there, and everyone's like, "Oh, come play darts or come do this." I said, "After the game." Nobody got it. Everyone's like, "Why do you care so much about this one game? We're going to be busy either way." And I was like, "It's literally like me putting thousands of dollars into each one of your pockets. That's the difference here. Like, I don't think you guys realize when LSU comes through." So we knew it was going to be big. We just didn't know how big. And obviously that first day was absolutely insane. And then before you even played a game, you had the record beaten, thanks to Todd Graves. And then Shane Morrison came through and bought another big batch. And then obviously Gordon came through and did his signature 8,888. So it was nuts because, everybody was involved. Like, the amount of work that the average fans did. I mean, me and George Cruz are good friends now because he would just come up, buy a tray of shots and tip me $50 and walk off into the day. You know what I mean? So it was just, so everyone, a lot of people, oh man, it's all the big money's ruined. The big money's ruined. One, it's for a good cause, and two, it wasn't the big money that ruined it. I mean, LSU would have shattered the record with or without those guys. It was just a lot of fun to have them there.
By the way, George, that's Dylan's dad. For those that missed that, it would just tip him $50, buy a shot of trays and roll. George is as good as they come, man. I love George. Okay, so and by the way, I also saw there's Jello Shot champion T-shirts. Are y'all selling these online as well?
We were. There was that we ran into some problems with some of the universities not using their name and things like that, despite the fact that we just donated a bunch of money to different universities' food banks. They still thought that it was inappropriate, and so we got 3 or 4 days into the sales, we got a cease and desist letter, and we had to stop. So I'm not gonna call out any universities, but it was kind of a bummer for us and for all of our fans, that's for sure.
Tell them to kick rocks, man. That's pitiful.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, and again, it was one of the bigger checks we wrote too, so it was even more disappointing. So
well, and by the way, Pat McEvoy is our guest. He's Jello Shot Pat. Let's call him that, from up at Rocco's in Omaha. So I got connected with you today from our mutual friend Brian Hightower with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, because apparently LSU fans have done a really cool thing. Can you please tell us what's transpired here? What in the last week, 2 weeks, what's happened?
Honest to God, it's been in the last day and a half. Okay. We came down for the Ole Miss series, the last homestand of the year. We came down, the guys from Jevo who make all of our shots, they sent product down. We did a mini Jello shot at Fred's.
Yeah.
and we raised $6,888 for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. That's what we always try to go food banks, but every time we go, we always take Rocco's on the road every year to a different school. And so they, Fred's was like, oh, we're in tight with Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. So we're like, perfect. That works well with us. And so we got hooked up with them and gave them the 68,888 from both Fred's, and Gordon kicked some in as well. And so I was, I just on the social media it's me that runs the Twitter account. And then we got, a kid that used to work for us who has a day job. He comes down and runs the Facebook and the Instagram page for Rocco's. And so it's like, we don't have a team of professionals doing this or anything. It's literally the guy that's serving you the shots is going to be the one running the social media too. So but we were kind of thinking about it, and we're looking at all the different comments we had, and so many LSU fans saying, we want in, you should put us on the board. And so we thought about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's tempting to take that money. It'd be a lot of money to get put up there. But at the end of the day, that the integrity of the thing matters to us more than people think. I think we want the board to stay the board. Like as soon as you start doing that, then there's 8-10 teams up there, and then all of a sudden there's some corporate sponsor, and then Nebraska wants in because they're the hometown boys. Like that's the more you add to it, the more you're taking away from it. And so we decided we can't put them up on the board, but let's see. The whole point of this Jello shot thing is put your money where your mouth is. If you think you're the best fan base in the nation, this is a tangible way to prove this. And so we thought it would be cool to use the opportunity as a way to give back. And so I text Brian and I said, hey, Brian, great meeting you down in Baton Rouge. I'm thinking about doing this. Would you guys be able to handle it? And would you be able to track it? I just kind of wanted to know, that way I have a rough estimate of how many donations came in. And he called me immediately. We were having our staff meeting, so I couldn't get to him right away. But ended up talking to him, and he's like, hey, we already got the page set up. I'll send it over to you. We've got the Rocco's logo on there. This is everything. He's like, I'll let you know. He's like, I can let you know day by day or every couple days or whatever. He's like, but we'll absolutely keep track. It'll be its own thing. And so, as of this morning, in an overnight post, basically, we already raised $2,500 for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and we're hoping that number just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. So, by the way, $1 is enough for 3 meals at the food bank. So when you donate $10 or $25 or whatever, you're helping a tremendous amount of people. And this is a time of year for the food bank as well, where it's high need but low donation. Just during the summer, right? I mean, people are out and about. Like during the holidays, there's a lot of engagement. Like this is a time where they really need the help. So if you go to the Rocco's Twitter or Facebook, and I've retweeted and shared on Facebook, there's a link that takes you right to the page of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank where you can make a donation of any amount. And so what's going to happen now? All the money donated.
Every dollar is going to Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. This is nothing to do with us. They're going to track it for us and keep us updated so we can keep the fans updated, because I know that's what the people want. But yeah, it's 100% going to them. I just thought that this was a good way to get LSU involved, to keep LSU engaged, because they really wanted to be here. They wanted to be here so bad, and we saw so many comments on the social media. So it's like, all right, well, we'll add you, in a kind of a roundabout way. And 100% goes to the food bank, so it's 100% for a good cause. It's not, it's nothing that we're doing that's helping us. It's just for GBR Food Bank. So.
Very cool, man. I mean, $142,000 donated last year to the collective food banks, which is just amazing to think about something as just organic and seemingly, I'll use this term loosely, but seemingly just silly as a Jello shot challenge that's done so much good. So
it's insane. And the owners, I mean, when they started, Kevin and Bonnie Colger are the owners, and they've always been really generous with the food bank here of the Heartland. But yeah, when it really blew up the Old Miss year and we started donating, actually the Mississippi State year, we knew it was getting big, and we knew we had to do something. And so the owners picked that charity, and they wrote the checks. We have big copies of the checks hanging in our brand new Jello shot room. We've got the bats that Marucci made us. So the 68,888 purple purple bat that Marucci sent us, the 18,777 that they sent us. We'll have a Mississippi State one as well. We have pennants for all 8 teams for the all-time shot record.
Okay.
So that way, if maybe you don't think you can catch LSU, but if you think you can sell 2,966, then you kick Mississippi State off the all-time record, and we got your pennant to put up there with your number. So we're having a lot of fun with it this year. It's not going to be the same without LSU, but the ACC SEC thing is going to be fun. Everyone's going to take that a little serious and light a fire. So we're having a good time, and we're just happy that we could. We'll still write the checks to all the on-campus food banks. We're just in the food bank here in Omaha, but we're happy that we could be raising some money for Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank as well.
Jello Shot Pat. That's what we'll call him here. Pat McEvoy up in Omaha. Hey, man, we'll send people, hopefully a lot of people, over to the Baton Rouge Food Bank website. We'll keep in touch, and we'll keep it tracking, man. Thanks so much for the time.
All right. Sounds good. Yep. Have a good one, man.
You do the same. It's our pleasure. Again, we'll share all the links, but if you go to the CWS Jello Shot Challenge Twitter or Facebook, you'll see the link there, or at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank website. Really, really cool idea. To raise money during this time for the food bank, kind of keep LSU a little connected with Omaha and the Jello Shot Challenge. Hey, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Mold Zero, Pure Restoration, Parish Restoration, all the same thing. My business partners, Ryan Terrier, Richard Tilley, had heard me for years talk about Jim Woodworth and Pure Restoration, and so they went and merged. And everything came under the Parish umbrella. So it's still the same patented non-toxic dry fog treatment, kill mold, remove odor, great sanitization process as well. Like a lot of businesses and schools hire Parish Restoration on a retainer to come dry fog every year, like before the school year, for example, to make sure their building is completely sanitized for the kiddos before they come back to school. So it's a great time to do that now during the summer. They do large commercial and industrial jobs. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration dry fogged a 250,000 square foot building in Louisiana, one of the largest buildings in the state. So it doesn't matter if it's a single family residential home or a gigantic commercial building, they can help. You want to kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. This is efficient and cost effective. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com, hit the restoration tab on the homepage, parishbuilt.com, hit the restoration tab on the homepage for Parish Restoration. Okay. It's after further review. Man, been a good show. Steamrolling toward hour 3. Ross Jackson's going to be here in 30 minutes. Talk some Houdat. Do you want to recap the LSU portal news from the day today? We'll get to that coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. And I don't know, man. I might still see a plume of smoke on the horizon over there in Tuscaloosa. That might come to fruition here in hour number 3. We'll see. Stay with us here as we roll along. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com, agent225.com. Talking to all y'all over in Lafayette as well in the 337. Darren James has an office over in Lafayette. If you need to sell your home in the 337, you need Darren James. The number 1 realtor in the state of Louisiana, the number 14 realtor in America on the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America. That came out just a couple of weeks ago. I'm so proud, so fired up for Darren. I've told you for years that he's the best. And Darren has a way of making you feel like, despite all the volume he does, that you are his only client. He's exceptional at the entire process of communicating throughout and getting you results. Number 14 in America on the transaction side. It's Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Muso. Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, yesterday was Paul Skeens' shove day.
Yep.
And he did it again. No decision for Skeens, but no fault of his own. 6 1/3 shutout, no walks, 8 Ks, 103 pitches, and a standing ovation from the St. Louis Cardinals crowd as he left the ballgame.
Pretty common, right? When fans in St. Louis cheer the opposing pitcher after he shoves for 6 1/3 and strikes out 8. By the way, Otter's little parlay. The Paul Skeens leg was over 7 strikeouts. Finished with 8. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
He's cruising.
He left in a scoreless tie at the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, and look, the Pirates got the win, which is good, because I would love to see Paul Skeens play some postseason baseball this year, actually. I'm actually, this just popped in my head.
Yep, words.
Is it possible for him to make the All-Star game, or is there a certain amount of games that you have to play?
There's no way. MLB.
Because, I mean, he's doing pretty well. I get it. He got caught up late, so I didn't think, but just maybe file away. Who knows? The Astros are currently playing ball.
The All-Star game is while we're in Houston, or in Dallas for it coincides with SEC Media Days, so that would be Tuesday the 16th.
Yeah.
So you're a month away. He wouldn't have enough time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would think there would have to be like a service time requirement there or something in the season. Anyway, the Astros are about to lose a baseball game. They're in the top of the 9th trailing. But Alex Bregman was 2 for 4 today. Really nice day for Breggs. Scored a run as well. The average is slowly climbing, man. Now up to 240. He needs it in a money year. Look for a big second half, hopefully there for Alex Bregman. Gavin Dugas last night, 1 for 4. It was a big one, though. His first home run since his call up to high A ball for Dugas. His only hit of the night, but results in a run. and an RBI there for Gavin. Zach Hess on the bump last night for the West Michigan Whitecaps. 2 innings of relief, gave up a run, but struck out 2. Really solid outing for him as he continues his climb. And we will end it here with our guy, Hunter Fiducia. 1 for 5 last night, 2 ribbies as well. Hitting 297, man. If he played in any other organization, I don't want to say any other organization, just about any other organization besides the Dodgers, he'd probably be in the major leagues.
We're a big Hunter Fiducia.
We are.
Huge Hunter Fiducia.
Yeah, he had a great career at LSU. He's incredible. That's Tigers in the Pros.
By the way, I have an update on Skeens in the All-Star game.
Okay.
I'll do that here in just a second. Brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well. Remember, I'm very visual. I know a lot of people are. I don't really do well like conceptualizing something or looking at a flip book or a sample. That's why what Relief Windows does is pretty cool. They have a 3D model whereby you can look at the entire design of the home on a 3D model. They can change the siding, the color, the windows, all that stuff. And so you can actually see what it would look like before you make your decision. Go to reliefwindows.com or schedule that consultation at 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. So Paul Skeens would be eligible for the All-Star game. And there are some in Pittsburgh who are imploring All-Star voters to vote for Skeens, even though he would only have 10 or 11 starts by that point. That was one of the things that counted against Steven Strasburg back in the day when he was not voted in as a rookie. This was an interesting tidbit, though. Paul Skeens has thrown more pitches already at 100 miles per hour or harder, 53, than Strasburg did in his entire career, 29. Did you hear what I just said?
That's not even close.
Strasburg's entire career, 29. Skeens has already done it 53 times. It's great theater baseball. Do the right thing. Don't be dumb like the WNBA.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Optimize. If you need a generator, you call Generator People. That's Optimize, Louisiana's #1 Generac automatic home standby generator dealer. Nobody sells more Generac automatic home standby generators than Optimize. Why is that? Well, first of all, it's because they're amazing people. They do great work. They're timely. They're efficient. They're a pleasure to deal with. But a big reason is because all they do is generators. That's why they're generator people. They're not an HVAC company that does generators on the side, or an alarm company that does generators on the side, or an electrical company that does generators on the side. Like, if you got a leaky pipe, call a plumber. If you want a generator, call Generator People. Optimize has 4 physical locations across the 10-12 corridor. So from Lake Charles to Slidell, anywhere in between, you want the Generator People. So remember, if you're thinking, I don't know if I can afford a home standby generator, if you have $600 for a down payment, they have financing options to fit any budget. It's Optimized. Go to generatorpeople.com, generatorpeople.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Ahead of Game 3 of the NBA Finals in Dallas tonight, the NBA will honor Hall of Famer Jerry West, who has died at the age of 86. The league will pay tribute to a man who won 9 championships as a player, scout, coach, executive, and consultant, and also built the Showtime Lakers of the 1980s. Celtics listing center Kristaps Porzingis as questionable for Game 3 with a rare lower left leg injury. That shouldn't cost Boston the series, but it does change some things. Former Boston Globe columnist Bob Ryan.
The Celtics will probably find a way, I would think, but it's going to be much, much harder. And the thing that he was able to do was provide a deterrent against those crucial lobs that Doncic loves to throw to both Gafford and Lively, like their secondary source of offense. And after they get the 2 big guys, and it's not going to be there anymore.
Bob Ryan on Greeny. You heard him mention Luka Doncic, the Dallas point guard with a chest contusion, is probable. Game 3, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern, ABC. A day after Aaron Rodgers' unexcused absence from mandatory minicamp kicked off a media firestorm, Jets coach Robert Saleh downplayed the matter, insisted it hasn't caused a distraction.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Jello Shot Pat on the show today.
Hump day.
That's the guy from Rocco's, the Jello Shot people in Omaha.
It's hump day.
Doing a really cool thing, raising money for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, even though LSU's not up in Omaha.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got Ross Jackson here in about 15 minutes.
Hump day.
Lattimore's at camp.
It's hump day.
Camara's at camp.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Anybody getting any better?
Hump day.
We'll ask Ross Jackson in about 15 minutes.
It's hump day.
We got Pluckers trivia.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had schedule news.
Hump day.
We got portal news.
It's hump day.
We have plumes of smoke rising above Brian Dennehy Stadium yet again.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got a lot to do, so let's get rolling here. Hour number 3, cruising along through your day, and hope you're having an awesome one. I am out tomorrow and Friday, not a vacation. We have our twice-a-year checkup with Drew's cardiologist, so we'll be out of town tomorrow, heading out of town, and we'll be back for the show Monday. But you'll be in the very capable hands of one Matthew Gerard Musso for the next 2 days.
It's not my middle name, but the hands are capable.
Matthew Quantavius Musso will have you covered for the
nailed
next 2 days. Got him. All right. Real quick, if you missed it earlier today, it was Ted Cahill over at Baseball America who had it first. LSU added Zac Cowan. That should be a familiar name. Zac Cowan was the Wofford ace. LSU did not see him in the Chapel Hill Regional. We thought it was going to be Gage Jump Zac Cowan. Cowan was really overworked in the SoCon tournament, and so they decided to give him an extra day. If you remember, Cowan was warming up, though, late in the game against LSU. And had they maintained their lead, Wofford maintained that lead, he probably would have come in and closed that game. But LSU took the lead, as we saw, and Cowan would pitch the next day against Long Island in an elimination game. But anyway, so Cowan went into the portal, and this is a guy that was 10-2 this past year, a 3.35 ERA, through 110 innings, 124 innings pitched, just 29 walks. So he was an ace in the SoCon. It is fair to ask, how will he do transitioning into the SEC? I don't know that he's a Friday night guy in the SEC, but could he be, let's just say hypothetically, Chase Shores, Cade Anderson, Zac Cowan? Is he good enough to be a number 3 in the SEC? I don't want to undersell him. Maybe he is good enough to be a Friday guy in the SEC. It was interesting. Jay Johnson and J.J. Edwards both had very similar things to say about Zac Cowan before that regional. As a matter of fact, in hour 1, we played Jay Johnson's cut. This was J.J. Edwards on AFR about his Friday night guy.
Think about a shortstop pitching, and that's what you're going to think. A lot of strikes. His changeup is phenomenal. He's added a breaking ball into it, so it's now a 3-pitch mix. A lot of strikes, hard to score on, really good pick move, like all of it. Everybody's like, what is he so good? And I go, he's a shortstop. He's a Division I shortstop who made the decision of, hey, I'm going to pitch a lot of innings for us, so I'm just going to pitch. And that's what it is. It's just the athleticism and the feel and all of it, and trusting everything he's doing. That's what you get out of Zac.
It's something to be really excited about. Another arm to add into the mix. Of course, Chase Shores coming off of Tommy John. Cade Anderson will be back. Griffin Herring, we presume, if LSU gets lucky with the draft, Herring would be back and would be certainly in the mix to win a weekend spot. And if not, could be a bullpen guy again for you next year. Now you've added Zac Cowan to the mix. And the other name worth keeping an eye on is Zach Root. Zach Root is a lefty from East Carolina. Started 13 games this past year as a freshman. He's one of the best arms in the portal. And LSU is in the mix. The two names at LSU is the two big names left on the board that LSU is very much in the mix for are Gavin Killen, the shortstop from Louisville, who is the number 1 prospect in the portal right now. And LSU is very much in the mix there. And Zach Root, the lefty from East Carolina, LSU's in the mix there. So if LSU lands both those guys, I think Jay Johnson's doing backflips. I will tell you, if they miss on Gavin Killen from Louisville, the other name worth keeping an eye on is Indiana State shortstop Randall Diaz. Now, LSU got a commitment yesterday from Luis Hernandez from Indiana State, the power-hitting first baseman catcher DH. His teammate, Randall Diaz, is in the portal as well, and that would be a target for LSU if they miss on Gavin Killen. We should probably have some resolution there I would think at the beginning of next week. So let me put it to you this way. If it's good news for LSU, I think you'll have resolution there at the beginning of next week. Hint, hint, wink, week. All right. It is after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. We're going to get to Ross Jackson here in 7 minutes from right now. Pluckers Trivia, bottom of this hour. If you're thinking about buying land, do what Louisianians have done since 1916. Your first call needs to be to First South Farm Credit. And at First South Farm Credit, while they have 44 branches across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Yes, while they are a Louisiana company, they service and can help you finance land anywhere in the contiguous 48. So if you want to buy 10 acres off of Hoosiatu or 20 acres in Pride, Watson, St. Francisville, Clinton, Zachary to buy your dream home, they can help. If you want to buy that recreational property for hunting, maybe it's a camp in Mississippi, they can help you. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you weren't here in hour one, we did around the SEC. And I mentioned a this was significant, wasn't it? A really significant get for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. I mean, Kalen DeBoer in Alabama, they are just absolutely crushing it right now on the recruiting trail, right? I mean, they're doing work.
I think we're up to, 2 commits this week already?
I mean, 14 in all for the class of 2025. Rolling. I mean, Kalen DeBoer's got him a top 10 class right now for 2025. He's looking to prove people like me wrong. And you know what helps do it, Muse, do you?
What's that?
When you get a commit from a guy like Mal Waldrop, right? Doesn't that do it, Muse?
He sounds like a player.
I mean, this is an offensive tackle from the state of Alabama, from Central Phoenix City, the state's reigning 7A state champions. Big-time prospect, Muse.
Good program.
You know who we picked Alabama over?
Auburn.
Clemson.
Oh.
Florida.
Ooh.
Tennessee.
All good schools.
Really good schools. And then you peel back some layers of the onion, Muse.
Yeah, what do you find?
You find that Mal Waldrop, all 6'5", 315 pounds of him.
Good size, man.
Mal Waldrop is a 3-star offensive lineman. And you may say to yourself, what's the big deal, Scone? You got an eye for talent? You got an eye for talent? You take those 3 stars.
What's the big deal, Scone? You got an eye for talent? You take those 3 stars.
I thought you might say that, Muse. You know who didn't settle and just take 3 stars?
Who's that?
The greatest coach in the history of college football, Nick Saban.
Heard of him.
Didn't settle and take 3 stars. You don't believe me? Do you think that's just me pontificating, spewing, just for an opportunity to rant about Alabama burning yet again? Do you, Muse? Do you think that's what this is?
I mean, it could be, sure.
Maybe it is. As a matter of fact, it probably is. But then I actually happen to have a little bit of data.
Go on.
Do you know what's significant about recruiting back in 2011, Muse, do you?
I do.
What is it?
That was when they installed the hard cap 25 player class there.
Very good, Muse. It's exactly what happened. Houston Nutt went out and signed 300 players in one. It was actually 37 players in one class. And so the NCAA said, this is ridiculous. So they put a hard cap. You could only sign 25. So you started to see coaches have to really delegate and be very intentional about players they took commitments from. So you know what Nick Saban stopped doing?
What's that?
He stopped taking a bunch of 3 stars, Muse.
Yep.
That's what he did.
Yep.
How about this? Going back to 2011. Nick Saban took 6 3 stars that year. 2012, 6. Then 5. Then 2.
Ooh.
Then 5. Then 6, 6, 5. 3, 6, 3, 2, 4. In his time at Alabama, going back to the hard cap era in 2011, Nick Saban never signed more than 6 3 stars in a class, Muse. As a matter of fact, twice he signed as few as 2 3 stars in a class. Do you know how many 3 stars Kalen DeBoer signed last year? This most recent class, his first class as the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Mind you, I just said Nick Saban never signed more than 6 3 stars in a class, he was always loaded up with 4 and 5 stars. Do you know how many Kalen DeBoer signed in this most recent class, do you, Muse?
How many?
9!
Ooh.
9 3 stars in this most recent class. And with 14 commits already for 2025 in this precious little top 10 class, you know how many 5 stars Kalen DeBoer has committed for 2025, Muse?
How many?
None!
Oh.
0! Not 1! 14 commits, not a single 5 star. You want to know how many are 3 stars, Muse, do you?
Tell me.
5. Already 5 3 stars. And the latest is Mal Waldrop, who on 3 ranks as the 435th best player in the country and the 40th best offensive tackle in America. Does that sound like a Nick Saban offensive lineman?
Nope.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
That sounds like a Missouri offensive lineman.
Yep.
That sounds like a South Carolina offensive lineman.
Yep.
That sounds like a University of Washington offensive lineman, Kalen DeBoer. And you may get him, and you may bring him in and try to develop him, but I got news for you, sir. I got bad news for you, Kalen DeBoer. Those houndstooth wearing Forrest Gump watching fools in Dixieland Delight. They ain't giving you 3 years to develop a bunch of 3 stars into guys that you hope might win you 10 games. Oh, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I'll say it many times again. Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. Nick Saban left an amazing foundation. Alabama's not going to be bad. They're not going winless in the SEC. This isn't Vanderbilt. They're not going 5-7 or even 7-5. But you keep loading up your roster with a whole bunch of 3 stars. You keep trading Julian Sayans for whoever the kid is from SMU, and you keep convincing yourself that it's all fine and dandy. You know what you are? You are the personification of that gif of the little dog in the room that's burning and saying everything is fine. That's what you are, Alabama. All of you can bury your heads in the sand and pretend like everything is fine and dandy, and Kalen DeBoer is going to win championships, and you're not going to miss a beat, and you're going to be in the playoff every year, and you're going to win championships just like you did with Nick Saban. I got news for you. This reeks of Dennis Franchione more than it does Nick Saban. This reeks of Mike Shula more than it does Bear Bryant. Your day is over. And I'm going to remind you of it every chance I get. Mal Waldrop. Oh, we're so late. We were supposed to be talking to Ross Jackson 2 minutes ago. It's AFR.
AFR.
Ooh, the next evenings at the Renaissance is ready to go. Coming up on July the 5th. Hey, remember the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. The Tallulah, inside the Renaissance is where evenings at the Renaissance go. These are complimentary events, complimentary spirit tastings with some amazing brands. So the next one, mark your calendar, July the 5th. It's a Friday, July the 5th from 6 until 8:30 at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. When Taylor was with us earlier in the show, he mentioned Cantera Negra Tequila. This is a Cantera Negra Tequila tasting event coming up on July the 5th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. So complimentary tastings of Cantera Negra Tequilas coming up July the 5th, evenings at the Renaissance inside of Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. We tell you about it all the time. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. 2 great hotel properties in Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Saints minicamp going on. Good chance to catch up with Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. Make sure you subscribe. Podcast, YouTube, Locked On Saints. How are you, dude?
Hey, dude, doing great. Thanks for having me on, man. Good to talk with you.
Always our pleasure. I want to start, I know everybody's talking about the quarterbacks and the offensive line. I'm really interested, man, about what's going to happen with this receiver room. I mean, Ross, yeah. I feel like there's two absolute stone-cold lead pipe locks, right? Like we know that Olave and Shaheed are in. After that, I have no idea how that's going to shake out. It's early. What's your best guess from what you've been able to see?
Yeah, as of right now, if I were to assume that they're keeping 5 or 6, right, that's typically the number you see on an NFL roster. The next guys behind Olave and Shaheed, and this is in no particular order, but would be, wide receiver A.T. Perry, who they drafted last year. And then the other two guys that I would put back there right now would probably be Cedric Wilson, who they brought in over the course of the offseason, signed him to a 2-year deal, played formerly with the Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, had a great year back in 2021, playing mostly out of the slot. I'll come back to that. And then I guess right now I'd probably maybe throw in like Equinemius St. Brown as one of those guys that could be, a blocker, but also a big body contested catch guy for you. And everything else is going to come down to special teams. They brought in Russell Gage here over the course of the past couple of days for tryouts. He's a good special teams guy, but can also give you some production as a pass catcher. We haven't seen Stanley Morgan Jr. until today working off to the side, so I have to see if he's able to fight through that way. And then they had an undrafted free agent as well come in Jermaine Jackson, amongst a couple of other undrafted free agents as well. But those are the guys that have stood out the most. So the ones that I would put on like a 5 wide receiver roster right now, in addition to Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, would be Perry Wilson and Equinemius St. Brown. for the time being, but we'll see if special teams kind of shuffles things around. And I think Wilson really serves as kind of a big slot guy, while the other two guys serve as kind of outside big body receivers.
What about Bub Means? Has he made any kind of an impression so far?
Yeah, and I'm just an idiot, Matt, and I forgot him. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just stupid. Yeah, no, he's he's the other guy that absolutely would be up there as well. And the thing that's really exciting about Bub Means too is that, like, when he played in college, he was asked to run like 3 routes. I mean, he ran 9 routes all the way down the field, or what we call like go vertical routes, just run as fast as you can down the street. And then the other ones were kind of like these comebacks, working back towards the quarterback. That's kind of what he was asked to do for the most part. And he still put up over 700 receiving yards doing that with bad quarterback play. So he's one of those guys that really fits the mold of being that player that's better in the pros than he is, in college. So I would say that he would be another one of those guys that's jostling for either that 5th or 6th spot.
Do they have enough there, Ross?
I think so. I think so in terms of being able to in terms of being able to hit your assignments, right? Like Chris Olave is going to be your number one guy who can also stretch the field. Now what's going to make them enough is the ways that they can contribute. They can't be one-trick ponies. Like, you can't be a guy that's only going to be able to win by turning on the burners and running, as fast as you can downfield, but you're also not going to be able to fill out that room with guys that are one note, then only contribute as blockers. And so I think you have to have guys that could do a little bit of everything. And so, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, maybe you don't look at them and say, oh, they can do everything, right? Like Rashid Shaheed as a blocker maybe isn't necessarily what you're asking him to do. And Chris Olave, certainly it's not what you're asking him to do. But these other guys that are coming in and can kind of play the big slot role, can be the big man on the outside, be the contested catch guy, can be another field stretcher while also attacking the middle of the field, which A.T. Perry has done very, very well here over the course of minicamp, all that. And then, you get these other guys that might be able to come in and contribute a bit while also helping as blockers, particularly in this wide zone offense. You're going to see a lot of running around into the outside of tackles. You want to expand that offensive line as much as possible. So your slot receiver's got to be a big guy that can block, right? So if you're able to find guys that can contribute in a bunch of different ways, then maybe you're missing the name, the marquee type names, but you've got the guys that are able to help you run your system. And we've seen that in other offenses around the NFL as well.
Okay. Ross Jackson's with us on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. I saw the report from Nick Underhill about tight end Sal Cannella working out for the Saints. He was with the UFL. What do you know about him, and how might this fit or make sense?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to come in and get an opportunity to try out, and then we'll see where things go from there. I mean, obviously he had a great year. He looked good with the Breakers as well. He had a great year in the UFL. Like, has had some, has pulled up some big numbers and put up some good production and all those other things. I think he's a little bit of a bigger body than like a Dallin Holker, who the Saints, for instance, brought in as an undrafted free agent. But so he's able to contribute a little bit more in a way that's a little bit more multiple, right? Being a blocker, but also being a big-time threat as a pass catcher. But look, I think it's a steep hill to climb because you're really bringing somebody in right now because you're thin at the numbers when it comes to tight ends. And so hopefully he's able to turn that from an opportunity to come in and be a camp body and then maybe show something tomorrow to where he really gets the extended opportunity in training camp. So as of right now, I would kind of mitigate excitement around his projection unless he's a part of the team after this. And then that's where you can start to kind of look at, okay, where can he fit? Otherwise, he just kind of falls behind guys like Juwan Johnson, who hasn't been at minicamp so far, but also, Boston Moreau, who's been out there every day, and then guys like Dallin Holker. And then, of course, Taysom Hill contributes from that position as well. So it could be a little bit challenging to really see where he might be able to fit in at this time.
I guess, Ross, that was my big question with Kubiak coming in. And correct me if I'm wrong or if there's something I'm not seeing, but Kubiak's been a guy that's gone more prototypical tight end, which looks like Foster Moreau, maybe not as much like Juwan Johnson or Taysom Hill. So I looked at this as like, are they trying to look for something that looks like a little more traditional prototype tight end at that spot to see something that fits, or am I just reading too much into that?
I think what it might be is, what other options do you have that check that box? And then how do you build depth out? So could that be that this is the guy that you're looking at and going, okay, so maybe he lands on the practice squad, and then that way if you're without your prototypical tight end, your typical inline true Y tight end, then is there a way for you to, do you have somebody you can turn to do that? But I would say that otherwise, guys like Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill have roles for sure. It's just that it's not that true Y role that a Foster Moreau would be able to fit in. So there's certainly some logic to that. And there's other guys already in the building that kind of check those boxes. Tommy Hudson, Michael Jacobson as well, who's made a few plays over the course of minicamps and OTAs. And so I would kind of put all those guys kind of in the same pot as like, yeah, they check the prototypical tight end box, but I don't know that means that they land on an active roster more than it means that they have some opportunities to hang around or a practice squad in case there's a need to go to another guy if like a Foster Moreau can't go for any reason at a later time.
Ross, any observations, takeaways from Alvin Kamara being back on the field after missing OTAs?
Oh, man, today was really, really fun to watch. They actually ran kind of this simulated end-of-game drill to where they, the offense was simulating as if they were down 23-28. They were trying to score a touchdown to retake the lead with about a minute and a half left. And the first play was a screen pass to Alvin Kamara, which I feel like we haven't seen since like 2018. And then like three more passes to Taysom Hill in between that, including a nice catch and run. And then the final play was, we were kind of looking at it from behind the offense, so tough to get the yardage on it. But I'd say it was probably around 25, 30-ish yards, maybe 20 to 30 yards. What looked like a wheel route down the left sideline to Alvin Kamara facing some pressure in Derek Carr's face. And so I would say that after seeing Alvin Kamara over the course of these last couple of days, this system feels like it's one that's putting him back into a position to where he can be the type of player that made him so beloved and made him a superstar in this league, and really utilizes him not only as, just kind of running in between the tackles, which are so often what he's been asked to do here as of late, but also getting him out on the outside, pitches, tosses, things like that. And then, of course, utilizing him in the passing game, which we saw worked out very effectively today.
Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. Hey, before you go, Marshawn Lattimore, I know we met with reporters. Look, his health's been an issue. How did he look? Any takeaways there from Lattimore?
Yeah, it looked really good yesterday. I mean, look, he showed up and he kind of got beat early on by Chris Olave, but then came back later on and was able to get a pass breakup in the middle of the field and what was a 50-50 ball. He had an interception on Spencer Rattler today when he was targeting Bub Means. And, the thing that I've been most impressed about him is that every opportunity that he gets to be out on the field, he's been out on the field. So he's showing you that he's in football shape. He's got the conditioning. And certainly I think it also shows a little bit of the dedication questions that people have been asking. He's not taking any reps off. He's out there putting in the work. So far, so good when it comes to Marshawn Lattimore's return.
Locked On Saints, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you're subscribed. And he's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. Y'all give him a follow. Always appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Back at you, buddy. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Be well. That is Ross Jackson. This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, with locations all over, not only Louisiana, 6 locations in Louisiana, but locations across 12 different states. Man, I was chatting earlier today with my buddy Sean McMullen, of course, played baseball at LSU, was on that 2013 College World Series team. And, man, it's so exciting. Back about a month ago, Michelli acquired Pioneer Scale. And so that extends Michelli's footprint into Dallas, Arkansas, and Colorado. So I keep telling you about how this business has been around for 76 years. They've maintained their local ownership. Their corporate office is right there in Harahan. They just expanded their calibration lab in Harahan, 6 calibration labs in Louisiana, and they just keep on growing their footprint. It's so exciting to see. And by the way, they are hiring in the Baton Rouge area. So if you're looking for a career change or are interested, if it's service, administration, or sales, Michelli would like to talk to you. So you can check them out online at Michelli.com. There's a careers tab at the top of the page. Michelli.com, Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Okay, y'all. It's After Further Review. It is a Wednesday, which means we're brought to you by Pluckers, and it's Pluckers Trivia Day. So when we come back, Muse will, by the way, Muse today, we do have a theme today. Our theme today is 2000s trivia.
Okay.
So, maybe feeling a little more confident?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I definitely would be a little older there than 90s. So, yeah.
Yes, you would be older in the 2000s than you were in the 90s. That would be a hashtag fact.
Yep. So yeah, I don't want to get cocky about it. So I mean, I think I can do
I
well.
wouldn't if I were you. I mean, I don't think you've other than anime trivia and Disney trivia. I think
no, you were the Disney trivia. I was not the Disney trivia.
That's right.
Yeah.
I nailed Disney trivia. I'm really good at that. What else were you really good at? There was some random. Oh, it was when I was in Lafayette. There was a random round that you got.
Yep.
But you missed the one about the draft.
I got the one about the draft.
No, the round was about the draft.
Oh, I thought
there was one where the answer was New Orleans. I was like, has New Orleans ever hosted the draft? Like,
and they
have. And I said, like, if you don't get this, you can't work on the show anymore.
I remember that.
Yeah. But you missed the one about what year Chicago hosted the draft.
That's because it was like 1872.
It was like 1946.
Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. They're actually like 50 years apart, 90 years apart, 70, 80 years apart. I don't math. Zac Cowan, new LSU pitcher. We've got the images of him in an LSU uniform for the first time. Got to say, they got him in the home whites. I just don't love that they don't have the piping there.
And I was about to say the old home whites,
ones.
the pajama home whites.
I know.
Why are those things still
Burn
even?
'em.
Yeah, why are they even in the facility anymore?
Burn them. Not a big fan. Burn them. Don't burn Zac Cowan.
No.
Burn the unis is what I'm saying. The home white. Like if we don't have piping, I don't ever need to see him again.
Agreed.
At least they got the stripe down the pant leg.
Yeah.
It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Just dial the 8s. It was funny. Your last hour, we had Pat McEvoy here from Rocco's, the Jello Shot Challenge. Of course, last year, Gordon went super viral when he bought 8,888 Jello shots. Of course, if you're calling Gordon, you're calling the 8s. 888-8888. 888-8888. You can always go to getgordon.com. Gordon's done a great job, man, supporting not only student athletes through his many different NIL initiatives with the G team, but I love how much Gordon gives back. You know, Gordon Gives, the website gordongives.com, you can read about all the initiatives, the charitable initiatives that Gordon and his team are involved in to make our communities a better place. It's one of the great things that I love to be a part of the G team as well because of the many, many ways Gordon supports the community. So go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling through hour number 3. Otters here in less than 10 minutes. Did we check? Are you back wagering with the Otter yet, Muse, or are you still on a hiatus?
I'm still hiatusing on. It's not just Otter. It's just kind of all. I'm just taking a little bit of a break, man.
The Otter just had an incredible run in college basketball. It was a fruitful run in college basketball. We did hit the parlay last night with Paul Skeens, the over 7 strikeouts, and the Mariners. However, we lost the money line play with the Angels. Not even close. It was 9-4. And we lost the money line play with the Giants against the Stros 3-1. So a 1-2 night for the Otter. Need to get it back, but he won with the Skeens bet. Okay, all right, let's do it, Muse. We trivia, hit it, go.
It's time for Plucker's Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Plucker's Trivia, every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right, Mussolini, you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
By the way, big shout out to a couple of our show texters, Bronson Bridges and Greg Lehman, both pointing out that aside from the anime trivia, the other round that you excelled was Taylor Swift trivia. Forgot.
Okay, but does that
You're
really?
A big fan of Tay-Tay.
Does that really count though? Because we also had E-Rock here, and she was actually the one answering the questions. I just happen to know all of them.
Oh yeah, no, you knew them all.
But does that count as me doing well? Because I didn't actually answer the questions.
Yes.
Okay.
You knew it. Big Tay-Tay fan over there. Anime and Tay-Tay. When I look at Muse, I think Tay-Tay and anime.
That's what everybody.
Right, Paulie? Tay-Tay, anime, and a little 420, eh?
That's him to a T.
It's the first weed joke in a while, actually.
Put it on his tombstone.
Don't put that on my tombstone, please.
The first weed joke you remember. Hey, Muse, following a playoff loss, which Philadelphia 76er went on a press conference rant wherein he used the word practice 14 times?
Allen Iverson.
It was AI. What was Allen Iverson's nickname?
Oh, what was Allen Iverson's nickname besides AI, obviously? Which now, what a different meaning for AI. Oh, franchise? No. Oh, what is it? That's not the next question, right?
No.
That's just something you threw in there. What?
You're looking at the screen to see?
No, I can't read it. It's too small. I can't
the answer is what we're looking for.
The answer?
The answer.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Muse. Number 2. In what 2001 war film does Josh Hartnett play Staff Sergeant Matthew Eversman?
Pearl Harbor.
No. We're looking for Black Hawk Down.
Oh, man, that's a good
is
film,
the answer
too.
we were looking for there.
You need to watch that again. It's been a minute.
Was Josh Hartnett the guy in Pearl Harbor?
I thought so. Maybe not. I thought he was, though. Thought he was
Ben
one of
Affleck,
them. I know Ben Affleck,
right?
but I thought it was.
It was Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, I thought so.
Kate Beckinsale. Jennifer Garner.
Remember that.
Jennifer Garner. Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Good movie, Pearl Harbor.
Cuba Gooding Jr. Jamie King. Tom Sizemore. Now I'm just reading the names.
I was supposed to say the entire cast.
Okay, here we go, Muse. This is for a winning day. and I think this is right up your alley.
All
I
right.
think this is the kind of question that when I think about Matthew Octavius Musso,
No.
this is what I think. This is what defines you.
Well, that's not even a real person, but okay.
All right, here we go. Hillary Duff's song Come Clean served as the theme song for what MTV reality series that premiered in 2004?
Oh, why do you think of me with that?
It's a Hillary Duff song. I was making a joke. You stay with me.
Okay.
The show ends at 6, so hurry if you get it wrong so we can move on.
Hey,
Hurry up,
2004, Come Clean. The only thing that's coming to mind is two shows, Next and Road Rules, and it's neither of those.
It's neither of those.
Yeah.
We're looking for Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach. That's
didn't
what we're
watch
looking
Laguna
for.
Beach.
Well, a tradition unlike any other. Matthew Sebastian Musso going sub 500 here on Pluckers Trivia. If you're better at trivia than Muse, then get by Pluckers tonight, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Always a great opportunity to get by. Test your knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, spin the prize wheel. Even if you stink at trivia like Muse, you can still spin the prize wheel and win something. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll flip you off. We'll give you the bird. That's the thing. We'll give you the bird. It says it on the wall. All right, Otterlock's next.
AFR.
Father's Day this weekend. Y'all, what are you doing for dad or dads if you get to make the request of what you want to do? How about you recommend some catering from Rouse's? There are nearly 70 Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama. So a lot of you got a Rouse's right around the corner. And we did this last year. We're going to do it again this year. It's a great idea for Father's Day. Rouse's, if you go to their meat market, they have the meat deli where you can get catering trays of barbecue. So they have ribs and barbecue beef and pulled pork and brisket. And you get these catering trays and sides. And it's a great way to spend Father's Day if you're going to be out by the pool. I mean, Dad, don't fire up the grill. Don't make Dad fire up the grill. Y'all take care of it. Just order it from Rouse's. Let them do the cooking, and Dad can enjoy it. It's at Rouse's. Your spot for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, We push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Love it when a parlay hits. Otter, how are you?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Well, another day, another dollar. I know we got a lot to cover. We got NBA Finals tonight, and we also have to get to the golf consensus picks as well with the Open this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a golf parlay first. You know, we're trying to be creative with Scheffler just dominating this thing.
Okay.
But Scheffler top 10.
Okay.
Xander top 10. Xander Schauffele. And then Hideki Matsuyama top 20. The top 20 will be right above the top 10. You'll see the little icon there.
Right. Okay.
That plays plus 587.
Okay. Love that. My goodness. All right. So Scheffler, top 10. Xander Schauffele, top 10. Hideki Matsuyama, top 20. Paying out at plus 587. Love that for the U.S. Open parlay. So basically, it's just there's not enough value, right, to bet Scotty Scheffler to win the tournament anymore. I mean, he's at plus 280, right?
Yeah. I mean, I took him with a top 5 in tournament. Hooked him up with some super regional that we won. I don't feel confident enough in any of the College World Series games. There are going to be some upsets. It's not like where you had A&M had a big advantage in their super against Oregon and Florida State, against UConn. These are pretty good matchups.
By the way, Otter, sorry to interrupt you, but I just punched in your parlay. It's at plus 377 now. So I think maybe
you did something wrong.
No, I got Scheffler top 10, Schauffele top 10. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Colin Morikawa. You're right. My apologies. I'm an idiot. Okay.
I just made it.
There we go. Plus 140, and there it is. Plus 587. Thank you. All right, we got it.
Okay. We're not going to overthink this thing, man. Look, Soto's back. Judge came back last night ripping it. The Yankees are on fire. Royals are going with openers tonight. Their bullpen is not the best. Top 10 team ERA in baseball. But still, that's asking a lot against the young pitcher for the Yankees. Had a couple of good outings. So we're going to just jump on that train and lay the 1.5, basically even money.
All right, there it is. 7:10 first pitch. There it is. Okay. Boom. All right. Yankees money line. Run line. Sorry.
Run line.
Yep.
And then I hate to do this to you, Matt, but Porzingis is a game time decision. I got to see if he's playing or not.
Okay.
And if he is, I'm betting on the Celtics. If he isn't, I'm kind of passing on this. I do lean towards the Celtics, but Porzingis makes such an impact on this matchup that I think it's going to be tough. So kind of getting some Dallas action. This is usually where you see a lot of Dallas and Dallas first quarter action. Think they're going to come out strong, with a little purpose, with a little bit more urgency than the team with the cushion. But man, if Porzingis is playing, I'm on Boston again plus a 3.
Okay, if Porzingis is there, Boston plus 3. If not, it's a stay away spot. So we have the Yankees tonight on the run line, and then we got the open parlay. So this will be a lot of fun. Scheffler top 10, Xander Schauffele top 10, and Hideki Matsuyama top 20. That comes back at plus 587 over at DraftKings right now. Anything else on the Open?
We did have a unanimous choice on Hideki Matsuyama to win it. But I mean, there you go. I would sort of like, when you're taking that long shot at the track, instead of betting it all to win, spread it out. Bet, to win a little top 10, a little top 20. So I would do that with, and I think he's the one that's plus money on our parlay also. Scheffler's going to finish top 10 unless the deputy dog gets him again. And Xander is playing he's playing the best golf of his career, man. And he broke through, so he doesn't have that mental hump as well. Schauffele's playing good. So. But Matsuyama was a unanimous pick by all of our contributors. So.
Okay, wow, it might be worth a little flyer there.
Yeah.
All right, Otter, Thursday. Where are you tomorrow?
We are downtown at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza.
Awesome, man. All right, Otter, we appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Okay, good luck, man.
All right, we'll see you. AFR is brought to you by Evermore. Got my 64-ounce bottle right here. Tell you, I'll drink one during the show. This is one on the set as the prop, but my family is converted. We buy Evermore now. I'll go, usually buy a couple of the 4-packs of 64-ounce. I'll take one throughout the day and drink it. We have the 20-ounce bottles that we keep in the refrigerator at the house. You want a healthier option for you and for your family. You want a natural option. If you want a rare alkaline source, if you talk about the importance of alkalinity, a pH from 8.8 to 9.1. You want to talk about better gut health, better hydration. You want Evermore. EVAMOR, evermore.com. Evermore.com. Of course, available at great local retailers. It's a Louisiana product with national distribution. It's Evermore. Evermore.com. Drink Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. All right, as we put a button on it, again, I'm out tomorrow and Friday, taking my son to the doctor out of state, so Muse will hold it down over here. Muse, what did you learn today?
Josh Hartnett was in 2 war dramas in 2001.
He was typecast. What can we say? Paulie, what did you learn today?
I learned Jimmy Graham might not actually be retired.
How about that? Jimmy Graham's told Cat Terrell that he will retire whenever the Saints tell him to retire.
What did you learn, Matt?
Our guy Rocco Pat was here. And they're doing a really cool thing for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank with the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge, even though the Tigers aren't up there. But I'm saying the bartenders didn't get why he was all sad. See you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, let me remind you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, Father's Day is on Sunday. You know that. If you go to the website, lmfj.com, what do you buy for Dad? Dad's so hard to buy for. He's got everything. Go to the website, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. You see the Rolexes right there. But as it scrolls, you'll also see there is a specific category that says Celebrate Dad, where you can shop Father's Day gifts. If you tap that section right there, you'll see their Father's Day gift guide with tons of great options, from necklaces and rings and bracelets, watches, beautiful timepieces. Check it out. There's so many amazing options for Dad. A cufflink set, which could be a great job. Studs and cufflinks. They got plenty of options at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. So check them out, lmfj.com, or get by any of the Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry locations. If it's the 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a